I chose Luigi's Mansion because I think it's an exceptionally unique piece of storytelling within video games. It shares a lot of the design philosophy from classic games Andrew Irvin brings up in Bit by Bit, but it puts them in a unique 3D context. Within Luigi's character design, we see similarities to the game Adventure. However, instead of having a blank character for you to project yourself onto, we get Luigi, who has flaws that everyone can relate with.
We have Luigi, whose only real character traits are that he's a coward, he's a little bit dumb. As we go in, we kind of get this opening cutscene to kind of explain everything to us. Luigi has been told that he has won a mansion in a contest. He's been duped because, as we're about to find out, this is a haunted mansion.
I forgot to mention here, but the mansion was also a trap set up by the classic Mario villains in order to capture Mario and Luigi.
And which his brother, Mario, was supposed to meet him at. So, as we get into this game, we have this great kind of atmospheric setup. We see just images that probably won't scare you as the player.
The storyline uses a lot of tropes, but it's told through the lens of a redeemable character who we want to help succeed. The storytelling in this game is unique not because the plotline is exceptionally original, but because of how we're pulled into the story. It's a game in the horror genre, but the fear comes from the empathy we feel for Luigi, not frightening creatures or situations.
We're getting something we can just relate to. And as you play through this, you get a very kind of decentralized telling of the story. Everything you learn, you get from short little blurbs of text.
The goal of the game is to go through the mansion and defeat the ghosts of all of the different people who used to inhabit it. Before fighting each boss ghost, you can discover their weak point and scan them. Get a short blurb of information about the ghosts which you use to defeat them, and after defeating them, you take them to Professor Egad, who will meet in a second, to turn them into paintings, and you're rewarded with a short bit of information about their life. What's so interesting about the way the story and the exposition unfold is that it virtually has nothing to do with the main character or dialogue. Instead, we learn about the former lives of these spirits and how they interacted with one another through their own thoughts, which adds several layers of depth to a relatively simple search and rescue kind of story.
And it doesn't come from dialogue with the main character. It comes from how the ghosts feel about each other. I think that's one of the really interesting qualities this game had that I don't think a lot of other games have really represented in the past. In a lot of other ways, we also see we get beautiful animation in these cutscenes that we get to obviously feel empathetic for Luigi because it has these almost cartoonishly excessive kind of displays of emotion, which is impossible for us to not look at and understand what the main character is feeling. So like right there, we just saw our friend here screw up. We get this
I have no idea why I thought it was a good idea to talk over that cutscene. Sorry about that.
Oh, this guy failed, whatever. We feel bad for him, and immediately as the player, we feel a very small connection to Professor Egad here. We can relate with Luigi going through the rest of the story. And we see this in a lot of other places. So you see one really interesting thing about this game. I'll try to point it out at a better time you can hear it, or I'll use on-screen text in post-editing. Luigi hums along with the theme song. So that little change puts us so much more in the game world to like we're going along on this adventure with Luigi.
I'm gonna wrap the video up here. I spent some time talking about the similarities to Super Mario 64 and how they both took off because of how fun it is to move around and how fun it is to explore the mansion in the game. But honestly, I'm not sure what else to say besides pointing out that this game has an exceptionally unique take on storytelling.